Hey, welcome back to Algebra 1. We are going to do a review today of equations. So this lesson is going to go a little bit faster than usual. I'm going to be showing you problems, asking you to hit pause, and then telling you to go ahead and try the problems, and then coming back. Please actually do this, as this is what's going to be helping you out the most to make it so that you don't have to study quite as hard for the exam on your own. I'm going to try to help you do most of that right here. Alright, so take out those notes, your pencil and calculator. Here we go. Alright, so first I'm going to give you two problems. They are just one-step equations. They're both kind of tricky because the first one has decimals, the second one has some division going on. Go ahead, hit pause, try them, and come back. I'm watching. Alright, good. Looks like you've got it. So let's go ahead and try this out. For this first one, hopefully you saw that this was a minus 5.3. So on both sides, you're going to do plus 5.3, just like this. On the left side, these guys cancel because 5.3 minus 5.3 is nothing. And then I'm going to do negative 12.9 plus 5.3. That gives me negative 7.6. As always, you should check your answer by plugging this back in for x. That would have given you negative 7.6 minus 5.3, which indeed is negative 12.9. Over here, this is x divided by 3. Hopefully by now you've gotten to the point where you're not scared of things that look like fractions. You see that this is division, so the way to cancel division is to multiply. So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. Here we have 3 divided by 3 that cancels. This gives you x equals 36. And that's it. To check it, you're going to put 36 in place of x. And if you did 36 divided by 3, that is 12. Yes, 36 works. Alright, moving on. This is a two-step equation. You go ahead, hit pause, try this, and then come back. Alright, it looks like you have done it. I'm going to draw my line. Oh, it's a beautiful straight line, isn't it? X is on the left side, so I want to get rid of the thing that's on the same side as x, but is not touching x. So I want to cancel minus 12. The way to cancel that is to do plus 12. I'm going to add 12 to both sides, just like this. This cancels, and I copy 3/5 x. 18 plus 12 is 30. Now, I see a fraction touching my letter. I do not want them touching my x. So I get so mad, I hit it, and it flips upside down. So 5 goes to the top, that 3 goes to the bottom. Then whatever I wrote here, 5/3, I'm going to copy it over here also, 5/3, just like that. This means multiply, remember? So 5 divided by 5 cancels, 3 divided by 3 cancels. That leaves me with x equals, and then on my calculator, I'm going to do 30 times 5 fraction key 3. Remember, the fraction key on your calculator looks just like this. Okay, so 30 times 5 fraction key 3. And when you do that, your calculator should have given you 50. As always, you can put the 50 there instead of x, type it into your calculator, and make it work. It would equal 18, which meant you were right. Alright, let's move on to the next one. This one is a multi-step equation. Go ahead, hit pause, try it out, and then come back. Alrighty then, it looks like you've got this. Here you saw that there was a number and another lonely number together on the same side. So we're going to put those two things together. That's going to give us 5, because negative 12 plus 17 is 5 on the calculator. Next, I notice that x is on the right side, so I'm going to move the thing that's on the same side as x, but is not touching the x. This was a plus 10, so I'm going to subtract 10 from both sides. 5 minus 10 gives me negative 5 for the answer. Now I notice that 5 is touching my x. I don't want them touching, so I'm going to divide by 5. This gives me negative 1. And these cancel, leaving me with x. So x equals negative 1. If you got that, great job. Next, this one has distribution in it. You go ahead, try it out, and then come back. All right, it's looking great. So we're going to take that 5, distribute it through. This gives me 5x minus 35, because 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 7 is negative 35. And then copy equals negative 20. Alright, I probably should have drawn my little line here. There we go. Alright, so x is on the left side. So because it's on the left side, I want to cancel this thing. I want to move the 35 to the other side. That was minus 35, so now I do plus 35. Those cancel. And then I copy 5x equals 15. 5 and x, they're touching. We don't want them touching, so I divide by 5. That gives me x equals 3. 3 is correct. Again, I could plug this back in for x, type it out on the calculator, and it would give me negative 20. If I were taking a test, I would definitely be doing that for sure. Next, we have, this one's not too bad. It's a two-stepper with a fraction. No big whoop, you've got this. Go ahead, hit pause, do it, and then come back. Alright, I am seeing that you have drawn a line here to separate the two sides of the equation. This is minus 9, so I'm going to do plus 9 to both sides. Those cancel. I'm left with 2/5 x. X, there we go, equals negative 2. Now I have a fraction touching my x. I do not want them touching, so I'm going to take the 5, put it on top, take the 2, put it on bottom. Then copy this over here also, 5 over 2. Next, these cancel, those cancel. I have x equals, on my calculator I type negative 2 times 5 fraction key 2. And when I do that, I get negative 5. Negative 5 is the correct answer. Next, we have x's on both sides. Go ahead, hit pause, try this one. Alright, it looks like you've got it. So here's what we do. First, I see that there's a 7x on the left side, there's a 9x on the right side. Now what I always like to do is get rid of the smallest x from both sides. So I'm going to subtract 7x. Just like this. I'm going to copy the negative 15. This gives me 2x and plus 7. Just like that. Now, x is on the right side, so I need to move the 7 over here. This was plus 7, so I have to do minus 7. That gives me negative 22. Negative 15 minus 7, negative 22. And then I copy down my 2x. 2 is touching the x. I do not want that, so I'm going to divide them. Negative 22 divided by 2, my calculator gives me negative 11. That is correct. Next, this is an isosceles triangle. That means the two sides are the same. So really, it just means these two things are equal. So I could ignore everything else, but just put x plus 2.6 equals 8.2. Now that I have that, I'm just going to solve it. And all we do is we take that plus 2.6 and we subtract it from both sides. This gives me x equals 5.6. Great job. Let's move on. This one we're going to solve for y. Now y is our friend. Y is right here, so let me draw that. There we go. This is to remind me not to kill the y. So 3a is on the same side as the y, and that means I need to move it to the other side. This was a positive 3a, so I'm going to do the opposite and minus 3a. Notice that combines with this a. These cancel, and I'm left with 2y equals 5. This gives me minus 12a. Now, negative 2 is touching my y. I don't want them touching, so I'm going to divide them. just like that. 2 divided by 2 cancels. I get y equals, and really you could just copy this if you want. That answer is good. So if you want that answer, yay, that's great. Some people like to do what I call the heart method, where we divide these. So 5 divided by 2. And you could do this minus 12 divided by 2 is 6, and copy the a. So you could do that also. That's also a good answer. So this answer is good, and that answer is good. I would just stop here if I were you, because it's less work. Alright, on we move to the next one. In geometry, hopefully you learned that these two angles are the same. They're equal. So since they're equal, we're going to set them equal to each other. Okay, you should know how to do this. Go ahead and solve it and then come back. Alright, I think you've done it. So as always, I'm going to cancel my smallest x. In this case, it was 2x. Subtract it. Don't forget to copy your minus with that 6. This is 3x plus 9. X is on the right side, so I'm going to subtract the 9 from both sides. And then 3 is touching the x. I do not want them touching, so I'm going to divide them. Okay, so that's what x is. So that was my answer for this question. I found x. It's -5. How can I find the angle? Oh, it's so easy. I'm going to copy my original problem, 2x minus 6. But instead of x, I put a blank. So 2 blank minus 6 equals 5 blank plus 9. 5 blank plus 9. And then what do I fill in the blanks? -5 is what goes in there because that's x. So -5 and -5. Just like that. So on my calculator, I'm going to type 2 parentheses -5 parentheses minus 6 equals, and my calculator give me a -16. Then on the right side, I'll do 5 parentheses -5 parentheses plus 9 equals, and my calculator gave me -16. So this is obviously not drawn to scale. I don't know why I ended up with a negative for this answer, but as far as we're concerned, it's right. -16 would be the angle. When you get into trigonometry, you'll know that we can do a negative angle, but for right now, you'll just have to trust me. This is not drawn to scale. Next, we're going to solve for what my algebra teacher would say, W. No, sorry, X. It's already solved for W. So we're solving for x. We want to cut this right down here. And remember, x is our friend. So you go ahead, make x your friend, solve for x. Come back when you're done. Alright, I think you've done it. 12 is on the same side as x, so we're going to subtract it from both sides. Then look, w minus 12. You cannot combine those, so I just copy. Copy w minus 12 and copy 3 over 4x. Those canceled. Now I have 3/4 touching my x. I don't want a fraction touching my x, so I smack the fraction so that 4 is on top, 3 is on the bottom. 4 over 3 to this whole thing gets multiplied. Since it's the whole thing, I'm going to put parentheses around it. Okay, so 3 cancels, 4 cancels. I have my equal sign and an x. Now, I could copy it like this. This answer is good. That's fine with me. Some people might want to multiply them through. That's okay. You could multiply those. That gives you 16. And that answer is also good. So this answer or that answer, both are fine. I personally would pick the top one because it's less work. All right, you go ahead, solve this one for y and then come back. All right, hopefully your first step is to put a 1 right there. We're solving for y. Y is our friend, so let me highlight my y. All right, this was a positive 4x. To cancel it, I'm going to do minus 4x to both sides. Those cancel. I copy down minus 1y. Did you remember your negative sign? Oh, I hope so. And then I'm going to copy everything down here. 20 minus 4x, or you could have negative 4x plus 20. Either one is good. Negative 1 touches the y. I don't want them touching, so I divide. So now I have y equals, and then it's so easy to do your heart. So 20 divided by negative 1, negative 20. Then I have negative 4x divided by negative 1. That gives me positive 4x. And that's it. That's my answer for that one. Next, this is maybe the toughest one I can give you. It's a long, long problem. There's distribution. There's combining like terms. There's an x on both sides. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Go ahead, try it, and then come back. All right, hopefully you have done it. Let's see. There are many things you can do and still get this correct. One thing I would definitely do first would be distribute the 2. So 2 times x is 2x. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. And then copy the plus 6. And you know what? I'm just going to copy all of this. Okay, so I copied everything else. My next step is to notice that there are lonely numbers together on the same side. 6 plus 2, that gives me 8. Over here, I also have 2 numbers together. Negative 10 plus 6 is negative 4. Now I copy everything else, so minus 4x. Okay, so I'm just copying. Equals, I copied that. 2x, I'm going to copy that. Alright, now this is an easier problem that I think you've got a hang of. This is a negative 4x, so I do plus 4x to both sides. 2x plus 4x gives me 6x. And copy my 8. Now I have minus 4. To cancel the minus 4, I'm going to do plus 4. Then divide both sides by 6. And that's how we got 2 for x. Great. Now, let's do proportions. Remember, for proportions, if we have any adding or subtracting, we always put it in parentheses first. Just like that. So 16, oh wait, I'm sorry, you should go ahead and do this on your own. Go ahead, give it a try, hit pause, then come back. Alright, hopefully my hint helped you. 16 times x plus 2. I'm just going to copy that. Now on the other side, 15 times x minus 1. 15x minus 1. Next, distribute to both there and there. So that gives me 16x plus 32 and 15x minus 15. 15. I just misspelled 15. Sorry about that. That was embarrassing. 15. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to subtract the smallest x, which was 15x. Those cancel. Now I just have one x, or x, either way, plus 32 equals negative 15. One step to go. Minus 32 from both sides. I have x equals negative 47. Whew! If you got that correct, you are in great shape. Nice job. Oh, now we have our friend Ruth. Ruth names the drinking fountain by Miss Hoop's room and calls it the Fountain of Ruth. She charges $3 plus 50 cents per second to drink. That's expensive. It's an expensive drink. Hey, let's define the variables. So first, we have to figure out what's going on here. I'm looking for the word per or each. Look, there's the word per second. Okay, so what letter do I want for seconds? Well, I'm going to use the letter S. There's my S. And then what happens if you drink a whole lot of seconds? What will change? Well, hopefully you're thinking the price will change, or the cost. So let's do cost. I'll put C for cost. All right, let's write the equation. So what is the cost? Well, again, we're looking for the word per or each, and I know that that means this number is going to be touching my other letter. So 50 cents times S, because it's 50 cents per second. Second starts with the letter S. Plus, you have to pay $3 more just for standing there. So $3 to stand there plus 50 cents per second that you stand there. And that's our equation. Now that I know this equation, 0.50, let me copy this again, plus 3, there we go. Now that I have that equation, how much does it cost for a 7-second drink? Second starts with the letter S, so I'm going to put 7 right there instead of S. So in my calculator, I can put 0.50 times 7 plus 3. Go ahead, type the whole thing all the way across, and it should give you $6.50. Nicely done. Next, how long can you drink for $20? $20, is that a cost or a number of seconds? Hopefully you said cost, so that is going to be my C. So instead of C here, I'm going to put 20. Next, I solve this equation, so I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. That gives me 17. Finally, 0.50 is touching my S. I don't want that, so I'm going to divide by 0.50. That should end up giving you S equals 34. So that means you can drink for 34 seconds at the drinking fountain for only $20. Fantastic. Okay, so next we've got Mr. Hodes. Mr. Hodes went to the store to buy shirts and pants. Each shirt is $12. Ooh, there's the word each. And each pair of pants is $18. He decided to buy 7 shirts. He spent $192. How many pairs of pants did he buy? Let's see if you can do this one. I think you can. Hit pause, write the equation, see what you get. All right, here we go. We've got shirts and pants. Shirts, pants. Number of shirts, number of pants. Oh, my wife would be mad at me because I didn't put number here. This is the way old people used to write number. Now you guys think it's hashtag. I don't know what that means. All right, so we've got number of shirts and number of pants. Hodes is going to the store. He spends a total of $192. I like getting the total done because now I know that that number is done. I've used it. Now each shirt costs $12. So let's look at shirts. And then if I take his shirts and add how much money he spent on pants, that's going to equal $192. So let's talk about shirts. Each shirt is $12. We see the word each, so I'm going to put times S. Pants are $18. So that's 18p for pants. That's because I have an each there. Each and per, remember, means times the variable. Now we have an additional sentence to help us out. He decided to buy 7 shirts. So instead of S, I can put the number 7. So I'm substituting 7 in place of S because he bought 7 shirts. Okay, now you're good to solve this. Go ahead, hit pause, solve it, and come back. Alright, so this, you should have multiplied those first to give you 84. Then subtract 84 from both sides. I have 18p equals, let's see, 108. Divide both sides by 18. Oh no, I'm going to need my calculator, so we take that out. 108 divided by 18 gives me 6. When you have all of these ugly numbers and you get a pretty number like 6, that's a good sign. So the question asked, how many pairs of pants did he buy? P stood for pants. So Mr. Hody's got 6 pairs of pants. Great! Finally, the length of a rectangle is 6 inches longer than the width. Let's draw a rectangle while we're thinking of it. So here's our rectangle. This side is 6 inches longer than this side. This is called the width, so we'll put W for width. And the other thing that we have is the length. So we use L for length. Alright, except, actually I don't even need that. This whole thing is the length, but it says it's 6 inches longer than this. So I could take this and add 6 to it, and that way I don't even need this, right? Alright, so all I needed was W for the width. So if this is a rectangle, I know that this side is also W plus 6, and I know that this side is also W. Because it's a rectangle, the opposite sides are the same. The perimeter is 40. Remember, perimeter means the distance around. So when the police surround the perimeter of my house, that means they're all the way around it. Happens all the time. Alright, so now let's go ahead and add all the sides. So W plus 6, and then this side is W, and this side is W plus 6. Now when I add all of these sides together, it's going to equal 40 because of this perimeter being 40. Now this should be the easy part. We count all of our W's. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 W's. And then we have a plus 6 and a plus 6. So 6 plus 6 is 12. And finally, we just solve for W. Sorry, so we're going to subtract 12 from both sides. Those cancel. I have 4W equals 28. Divide both sides by 4. This gives me W equals 7. So the width is 7. Now the question though asks, what is the length of the rectangle? So since this is 7, I'm going to put a pink 7 there to help you. And this is 7. W is 7, so that would be 7 plus 6. And this would be 7 plus 6. So 7 plus 6, that would give me this whole side. What is 7 plus 6? 13. Lucky 13 is your final answer. Alright. So, sadly, that's all the time we have left. Our next chapter is inequalities, but before that, we're going to make sure that we are ready to go for that equations test. If you need help, you know where to find me. Go ahead and do that review assignment tonight, and have a wonderful day, everybody. I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody.